Hey there everybody, it is Big Dave back again with another Hitman video. I know, hard to believe. I had some positive response from the last Hitman tips and tricks video I did, so I thought maybe I would do another one. This one won't be quite as long or quite as elaborate, but I'll just show you some little tricks that I like in playing the game. A lot to do with distractions and just kind of getting people where you want to go so you can do your assassinations. So when you're wanting to distract somebody, one thing you need to think about is exactly what to use to distract that person. Let's say I'm trying to get this guy's disguise and I want to distract him over there closer to this wall. A good way to do it would be to run behind this van so he can't see me, and then throw an item over here to get his attention, to make sure he's out of other people's line of sight, and then take him out. But what I throw makes a difference. For example, if I throw a coin right here next to the corner of this box, we can see that it ends up bouncing and rolling and going way over here. So that's not exactly where I threw the coin. I threw the coin here and it bounced over here. You may say, well, that's not very much, but it can make a huge difference if this is outside the line of sight of guards, but this is not. So maybe I don't want to use a coin in this circumstance. Maybe I want to use something else. For example, a lead pipe. I'm going to stand in the same place and drop this lead pipe at the same location. When I do that, it skids a little bit, but lands almost right next to where I threw it, and that can make a big difference. So just remember, coins can bounce. Solid objects like pipes and crowbars and bricks tend to land near or right where you throw them. So keep that in mind. Another thing to note is that you can actually throw objects and bounce them off of high places like walls, like right here, and they will still get attention. Oh, in that case, I accidentally set off this car alarm. Okay, so that brings me to my next thing. Car alarms will send NPCs into a panic. So he's going to run over here and tell this guard that a car alarm went off over here. Now, why is that useful? One, maybe I need to lure a guard over there to knock him out and get his disguise. But two, look, all of a sudden there's no more guards on this entrance and I can walk right into this trespassing area with nobody seeing me. Oh, I'm going to get out real quick. I almost got spotted. But anyway, you get the idea. So one thing I touched on a little bit in the first video is that you can leave guns on the ground to intentionally be found, and that's a good way to distract people and get them moving around. So let's say, for example, I left a gun on the ground and this NPC found it. He's going to go tell a guard, and the guard's going to come back over here, pick up the gun, and then take that gun to the nearest security station. So it's a good way to lure a guard away from someplace you may not want him to be and get him out of the way. But sometimes the trick is being able to drop your gun in a way that nobody sees you do it, because if somebody sees you drop the gun and you're in a suit like this, they'll get freaked out and they'll get suspicious and guards will come after you. So one thing you can do is actually run into the NPC like this. It'll break them out of their loop and get them to look at you for a second. If at the same time you do that, right after you bump them, you drop the gun and then walk away, they won't see it happen. This doesn't really make sense, and it's kind of a manipulation of the AI, just kind of a little defect thing. So what I'm going to do is run into them, immediately go into my inventory, pick up my gun, and drop it from the inventory, and then walk away. And he's not going to see that gun until I've had enough time to escape. And now he's going over to tell the guard, hey, I found a gun over here. So here's something interesting to note. If you try this exact same technique on a guard, it still works, even though he's a guard. So you can clearly see that it's very much a manipulation of the computer AI. because there's no reason I should be able to drop any kind of weapon in front of a guard like that while wearing my suit and not immediately get spotted. Of course, now he's taken away my only gun, and he's walking away with it, but that's okay. I didn't want that gun anyway. Now, when it comes to you trying to lure a specific person, there is one good thing you can do to make sure, in case you accidentally lure the wrong person, you can reset pretty quickly. So I've got 2 guards here, and I'm going to drop a coin right there. Let's see. Okay, so the guard on the right is going for it, but I don't want him to, so I'm going to bump into him like that, and that'll make him stop. Then I can pick up my coin, and he just goes back to normal. This works on NPCs as well. So I'm going to drop a coin there. It's going to get this guy's attention. I'm going to bump into him, and he'll stop going over there. Then I can pick up my coin, and he won't take it. So for small things like that, just noise distractions, if you have somebody going somewhere and you don't want them to go there, just bump into them. They'll usually return right back to their normal routine. However, this does not work if they're panicked or anything like that. Speaking of which, one way to distract people is with your weapon. You can shoot near them and it will distract them over to it, but you have to be careful because if you shoot too close to them or shoot too many times, it'll just cause them to panic. So we got this guy right here. Let's shoot right here. So he heard that noise and he's going to go check it out. But because it was a bullet impact, he's now going to go tell a guard about it. Now, the interesting thing about panicking NPCs is that when NPCs are in a panic, they tend not to notice much else. So, for example, I'm down in the basement here, which is a trespassing area for me because I'm still wearing my suit. Let's say I want to walk through this kitchen here, but this one chef is in the way. What I can do is pull out my gun, aim here at the end of the stove, and shoot it a couple times. Now that he's panicked, I can stand right in front of this guy, and he will not notice that I'm down here in a trespassing area. Now, that's only going to work for him. So, for example, these other chefs in the area who weren't panicked by the bullets will still be able to spot me. But as you can see, that one guy who should have spotted me immediately didn't. He just ran right by me. Oh, and one little addendum to my section on security cameras from the last video. There's actually lots of different ways that you can take out the security cameras. Of course, you can shoot them with a gun or just go up to them and do it manually. Or you can catch them in an explosion. If an explosion happened nearby, it would knock out the security camera computer. You can actually place a remote breaching charge on top of it, detonate it, and that will destroy the computer. Or you can just take a fire extinguisher and toss it at the computer. Yeah, so, you know, fun fact. Okay, so check this out real quick. I've got a target and his bodyguard walking by the door right now. So I'm going to go in my inventory here, grab a coin, open the door, and toss it in here to try to lure in my target. Now, what he's going to do here is actually called VIP behavior. You see, he's not going to come in and check it himself. He's actually going to send in his bodyguard to come check on it. And, of course, his bodyguard's going to find me here, which is not a problem. Alright. So now, actually, if I try to lure in the VIP who is walking away right now, they have no concern over their bodyguards at all. They're like, oh, my bodyguard just walked into a room, the door closed, and I never saw him again. That's fine. I'm just going to walk away. But anyway, that's something important to note whenever you have targets that have personal bodyguards walking with them. Hey, I am trying to talk to the audience right now. Shut up. Shut up. Anybody else? Alright then. What was I saying? You made me forget what I was saying. Oh, right, VIP behaviors. So, if you're trying to lure a target that has their own personal bodyguard, like in this case, but especially in the cases of elusive targets, almost any elusive target you go into, the person is going to have at least 1 or 2 personal guards, if not more, with them at all times. So just know that when you try to lure them, their personal bodyguard is going to come and check it out. So you may have to get rid of their bodyguard first before you try to lure the target somewhere. In some cases, the target's personal bodyguard will call an additional bodyguard to come and check it out, which creates even one more layer that you have to get to before you actually get to your target. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to talk about this time. Just a few more things I wanted to add on to my last tips and tricks video. If you have any questions about any of this, or if there's any tips that you would like me to explore to kind of show people how to do, be sure to comment below and let me know. You know, I always try to reply to everyone who comments, and I'll be glad to help you in any way I can. Anyway, I am Big Dave, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.